1, 2, 3, 4.
Is Brian Kelly, and welcome to the show. We have a special show for you today. I'm here with Jack Selva. He's the president and drum major for the Crusaders Senior Drum and Bugle Corps out of Boston, Massachusetts. And Jack, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Brian. Thanks for having me.
We're here at an open house. You have an open house here, and we're in Malden right now at a VFW post, and this is an opportunity for people to take a look at perhaps joining the Corps. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep. That's what it's all about. We try to get some new members to start out the next season coming.
Well, 2010. The reason we're talking with Jack is, in Milton we have a affinity with the Crusaders because the junior corps started out in Dorchester, just down the road from us. And where were they located? At the
Lower Mills in Dorchester.
Lower Mills at the VFW post 8699, if I recall, right?
Right. Yeah, and we had the old fire barn up on Central Avenue that burnt down, I think, in 1970. I think.
Now, I don't know. Can you hear me all right back to folks? Okay. You can hear the horns are practicing right now. Yeah, Jack, now you didn't start out with the Crusaders. You started out with who?
I started out with the Valiants.
Who were the Valiants?
The Valiants was a feeder corps for the Crusaders. My father started back in 1961, I believe. It was a feeder corps for the Crusaders. So once you get good enough, you could go to the Crusaders if you were any good.
Well, I know the people at home, many of these people that are watching the show have seen the Crusaders, either the junior corps or your corps. How did the senior corps come about?
Well, there was a bunch of us laying around really not doing much, and in 1991 they sent out to all the alumni that they were starting a senior corps, and before you knew it, we had a room full with people that wanted to march.
So these are mostly men and women that played in junior corps around the state?
Exactly. From all over the state, yep.
Okay, so today this is an open house, so if anyone's interested, come. How old do you have to be to become part of the Crusader Senior Corps?
Well, we ask if it's be 21 and over, but if a parent brings a teen down with them, a family member that's a teenager, as long as their parents are in the drum corps, they can march with their parents. It's a kind of responsibility thing,
And what instrument did you play?
I played a soprano. A soprano's it starts with a G like the old F troop bugle, but now they put valves to it. There's 3 valves on top. It kind of look like a trumpet, but doesn't start on the same note. But it has the same basic sound as a trumpet would. I mean, in a band you'd have a trumpet. In a drum corps you'd have a soprano. In a band you'd have a French horn. In a drum corps you'd have a mellophone. In a band you'd have a trombone. In a drum corps you'd have a baritone. In a band you'd have a tuba. In a drum corps you'd have a contrabass. So it's a little distinct thing there. That way back when each neighborhood had a band and a drum corps, that was the distinction, the way it was way back when.
Now, see, I never knew that explanation. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing it since I was 6 years old, so I should know a little bit of something.
And so these corps actually kept a lot of kids off the streets when they were young also. This gave them something to do and kept a lot of people out of trouble, I'd imagine.
There was a lot of things to do way back when. It's too bad because the kids don't really have that much to do now. It's a little bit more... It's a lot different than it was way back in the 60s, 70s,
And so what exactly do you do? Now, if someone were to sign up with the Crusader Senior Corps, tell me what kind of a schedule they're going to have.
Well, all we ask is if you're a member of good standing, of course. Family and work come first. It's kind of like a hobby. We practice because we want to be good. We do about 10, 12 parades a year. 4 shows outside in a big football field, crowds of about 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people. And we just want to try to be the best we can. And we have a close-knit bunch of people, as you'll meet in this room later on, that have a lot of fun.
Now, what about the instruments? Do they have to bring their own instrument? I see they're all, I'll show you folks in a minute, but they're all the same, silver and everything, so someone might not have a silver horn.
Yeah, well, we have some horns, but most of the people that have been in a drum corps, most of their life have their own, which helps out a lot because the horns that we use are kind of extinct. They don't make that many anymore.
Now, you're just not only instruments. You have some people that are in a parade or a color guard. Is that correct?
We have a drum line and we have a color guard. Flags, rifles, American flag section.
Excellent. So do they have to try out?
No, not really. No, we just like to have. We give everybody a chance, and we kind of like just work them into it. We could use anybody who wants to come down and wants to do something like this. We'll give them all the help they need. That's what we got when we were little kids, and that's the way it is right now.
The tradition continues.
The tradition continues, exactly. I mean, I remember way back when there was a kid that didn't know anything about anything. And,
was that you?
Well, it wasn't me. No, I was kind of drilled into what I had to do. And this guy ended up being probably one of the top drummers that we've had in the Crusaders way back in the day. And this is a guy who was just standing on the sidewalk wanting to come over to join. Had no talent at all, and before you knew it, bang. This guy was banging away on a drum.
Well, I have to say that I went to one of your competitions up in Lawrence last summer, and you were on, what do you call it? You weren't competing, you were doing an exhibition.
Yep.
And there was a gentleman that went out on the field, and he had a walker with him. Tell me a little about that. Talk about that man.
Well, that's Papa Lutz. Papa Lutz has been around. He's been in a lot of drum corps. He was in Prince. He was in a lot. He's been around in drum corps for many years. And when he first came over here, his corps that he was in, they broke up. So he came over to our drum corps, and he had asked me if he wouldn't mind it if he would march. I says, Papa, you can do whatever you want. With the history he has in drum corps, and if he could get out there on a walker, play his horn, and then walk back off, that's fine with me. We take anybody. I mean, it's the guy wants to do it. How can you say no to him?
It was heartwarming to see that.
Well, that's what we're all about. If that's what he wants to do and come out and play his horn that way, then that's the way it is.
I hear a song in the background. That seems to be your signature song. Tell the folks about that.
Well, that's Conquest. We're famous for that way back in the 1960s, and we kind of carry that tradition over with this corps here. I mean, the minute people hear us playing that song, they know who we are. That and El Capitan, which we're famous for.
Are you going to play any of them today?
We're going to see what we can put together today. It's kind of like we're coming off a pretty good show in Plymouth, and this is just a day that we'd have to try to learn new stuff for next year. But yeah, we'll be putting a little bit of stuff together for the.
So, matter of fact, you mentioned Plymouth. Maybe we'll have a clip from that to show the folks. So you go to Plymouth Rocks. That's the Saturday night before Thanksgiving every year, and that's tell us about that.
Well, that's kind of like our home show. We kind of strive for that because that's like anybody who knows from our area that comes down to watch us. We kind of want to be at our best, and we kind of proved the task this past, November 21st. We were probably one of the best shows we put on in a long time since this corps has been going.
Very nice.
Yeah, and it was a lot of hard work from everybody that's in the corps because we're such a close-knit family. And I think that has a lot to do with it. We run this like a family, and what you get out of it, what you put into it is what you get out of it. It comes from like the heart, you know what I mean?
I hear you. Now, you how many parades a year you put on?
Well, because of the economy, they've cut a few parades out, but we pick up a few here and there. But that's how we make our money.
What does it cost the town, or do you want to talk? Is it it depends on the situation?
Yeah, it depends on what the situation is, what it's all about, what the event's for, And,
I gotcha.
Yeah.
And so, and then you also put some exhibitions on, like you did in Lawrence. So how many of those do you do?
We do 3 of those.
Any out of state?
One in New York on Labor Day weekend. That's if you're. I always tell everybody if you're any good, they invite you to the show in Rochester, and we've been doing it since they started, and we haven't let them down. And every time we do it, we strive for that because we're the only corps that represents the New England area that goes to it. It's kind of like a battle of the drum corps, you know what I mean?
Are there many senior corps around the country now?
Well, I don't know exactly how many. There's some that are starting up, but I would probably say 30 to 40 maybe across the country. I could be way off, but that's just like a guesstimate, you know what I mean?
Well, I know it's like a family because my Uncle Billy volunteered and helped out. And he lives in Milton, or lived in Milton, and he died of cancer. And I think you might have just been returning from New York, and all the buses pulled down on Pleasant Street, and they marched up Horton Place where my uncle lived. And we had him come out of the house on the front steps, and the corps gathering. How many members in the corps?
Well, we got 50 horns, about 15 girls in the color guard, and a full drum line. So
you had all those folks gather on the street in front of his house and played. It was just, man, gave you goosebumps, you know. So
Billy was a close friend of mine too. I mean, I knew him when I was a little kid. When I was in the Crusaders, I was 10 years old, and it was scary because all the guys were older. But Billy took me under his wing when I was younger, you know, because he thought the older guys were gonna give me a hard time, and he'd straighten them out. Billy was a good guy. He was real good friends with my father, too. He helped my father out with a lot of stuff with the Valiants. Billy was a good man.
Well, what I'm going to do, Jack, I'm going to take some video of some of the rehearsal. Now, folks are not in uniform today, obviously, and because this is kind of the end of the year and getting preparation for next year. I'll try to interview some of your members just to get a flavor. Anything you'd like to say to the folks at home that might be watching that maybe have a horn in the closet that they'd love to play, but, you know, they didn't know where to get started at this? And
well, all I can say is I played sports all my life, and this is about the only thing you can do that you can't get hurt. So you could play a horn on a recliner. I mean, you know, we'll take anybody. I mean, this is a lot of fun. It's great exercise, and this is the reason why we look so good, because of the parades we do. Keeps you in a little bit of shape. You can't get hurt. Plus, we have a blast wherever we go. A fun time.
And if somebody can't make a particular engagement, it's not mandatory to do the best they can.
Well, I mean, we'd like to see everybody there for everything. I mean, I like myself my wife Kathy's in the baritone line, but the corps been going for 18 years, going on 19, and I haven't missed a rehearsal in 18 years.
You're talking about the senior corps.
Senior corps, yeah.
When did the junior corps start?
1940.
1940. My grandfather marched with them.
And that's right. And I'll tell you, this next year, 2010, you'll hear some of the music that's in the background here. We're getting ready for a 70th anniversary year to represent the Crusaders with some of the old songs they played way back in the 60s and 70s. So that's what we're striving for this year, to put on a great show, bring back some of the songs from way back when, and put them together maybe one more time in 2010. So my slogan for that is back again in 2010.
I like it.
Thanks,
Jack
Brian.
Selva,
yeah.
Thank you very
Thanks
much. We look forward to
anybody out there wants to come down and join. We got a website,
Tell them what that is.
CrusadersSeniorCorps.org. Jump on there. We have a schedule. Check out the pictures. Check out the events we've done, and we're more than welcome to have you. It's a great time. If you can swing it, bring the kids, bring the wife, whatever you want to do. Would love to have you.
Thank you for your time.
Thanst, Brian.
Appreciate it.
All right, pal. Thank you.
Okay, folks. We'll be right back. Hello, folks. I'm back. I'm here with Frank Gorelli. Frank, you're a drum instructor here for the Crusaders?
Correct, sir. Yes.
How'd you get involved?
I got involved because one of my best friends was teaching, and he asked me to come down and teach here. I've been involved in drum corps since I was 13 years old. I'm going to be 60 in February. And I started in the small drum corps in Lawrence called the White Eagles Drum and Bugle Corps. And then I went to the Beverly Cardinals and aged out of there at 21. And then I started teaching immediately in 1970. And I've taught probably maybe 20 different drum corps over the course of my teaching career.
So you're the drumline guy, right? Did you see that movie, Drumline?
Yes, I did. Very good. It was
good.
Enjoyable, yes.
And so you have that here. How many drummers do you have here?
We probably have about maybe 18.
18.
Right. Yeah, and they're all good guys. They're all guys that marched in other drum corps before. It's like a melting pot, this drum corps, and they actually play very, very well. This past month we went to Plymouth, and we did a very good job in Plymouth. What I liked about it is that this drumline really, really works very, very hard. And we did a very, very good job at Plymouth, and I'm happy that they got out what they put into it.
Are they going to practice today?
Yes, they are, sir.
Okay, we're going to get some footage, all right?
Right.
Frank, thank you for sharing on the show with us today.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy.
All right, thank you.
Tom Rice. Hello, Tom. Welcome to the show.
Good. Hi. How are you?
I hear you're on the drum line. Is that correct?
I am. I'm one of the single tenor players that been around drum corps all my life. Yeah.
How'd you get started?
Well, as a kid, I was in the Valiants with fearless leader Jack Selva, and his dad was the general manager at the time, and he took me off the mean streets of Dorchester, and I kind of learned music and have been in love with it ever since.
And so this got you off the streets and doing something fun, right?
Yes, it did. I mean, there's a lot of kids that were in the inner city in Dorchester that didn't have any abilities to have music lessons or instruction, and this was a way to learn music and not actually have to make a large payment. Like, unfortunately, kids today, I think they spend a huge amount of money just to get lessons on how to play musical instruments.
So it's changed your life?
Oh, it has, yeah. It gives you discipline, it gives you direction. I think it develops you as a person and your character. So.
Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to share. And we'll be looking forward to hearing you on that drum line.
You will be.
Okay, thank you. Folks, I'm here with Art Kellerman. Art, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
I see you have a horn in your hand.
I do.
What kind of horn is that?
Well, this is a soprano horn, a 3-valve G soprano horn comparable to a trumpet.
How long have you been playing?
Well, my first drum corps was about 1959.
What was the name of it?
That was the Peabody Musketeers. And then I was with them until 63. I was in the Majestic Knights of Charlestown in 65. Then 66, I was in Lieutenant Norman Prince, the senior corps. Then I was out of drum corps entirely until the Crusaders started up this alumni corps in 1991.
What attracted you to them?
Well, about that time my daughter was growing up. I had been involved in her activities. And then she was a little older. She didn't need her dad hanging around. I went to a parade. I saw the Springfield Marksman Alumni Corps coming by. And I said, instead of feeling sorry for myself, why don't I get into it again? And so I've been doing it ever since.
Was it hard to get it going again?
Well, one thing I found that was tricky was the kind of bugles we used my last year. They were one valve with a slide. And then with the Crusaders, they were into the 2-valve era. And then a year or two after that, we had the 3-valve. So at first I was a little intimidated by the equipment, but it didn't take long to get used to it, really.
So this is the 3-valve.
This is the 3-valve.
And what makes it different from the other horns?
Well, the 3-valve gives you a whole lower range, a lower octave that the 1-valve couldn't play. So it's actually a little easier once you get used to it.
Well, we appreciate you sharing with us, and maybe someone at home is like you, and they've been going to parades. Or they haven't been a lot of parades, unfortunately, but if they have, maybe they'll see a corps like the Crusaders and decide to join up.
Well, I definitely would recommend it because it keeps you at least in better shape than you would have been had you not done it. And you might surprise yourself. I think that, you put a little effort into it, you can do it, and you'll really enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Enjoy. Hello, folks. I'm here with Nancy Doyle, and she's a member of the Color Guard with the Crusaders Senior Drum and Bugle Corps. Tell us a little bit about that, Nancy.
I've been a member since 1997. We currently have 11 members in our working guard, and we also have 4 members in our American section.
What do you mean, the American section, the working...
The American section consists of the people that carry the American flag and all the other state flags and dignitary type of flags. We also have people that guard the flag with rifles and sabers. And then we have the working guard, which are people that actually use corps flags, corps design flags, and we do visual work that goes with the music that we play. And we also have people that do rifles as well.
How did you get involved?
Actually, I belonged to a drill team way back when. I'm not going to say how far when.
What drill team?
Sacred Heart of Weymouth, and then my children marched in drum corps for 10 years, and then I had a friend who is currently in this corps, in the cymbal line, who I marched with way back when, and she kept bugging me to come down. So I did.
Are you glad you did?
I'm very glad I did. It's a nice place to meet people. You get friendships going, and it's just a good thing to do. Physical activity, social activity, it's a good thing to do. And I think, it's a chance to represent the Crusaders, which is a long-standing organization in the drum corps world, all around the country. So.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
Da da da. 1, 2. 21. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's it.
I'm here with John Maxner. And John, you're part of the instructional staff here with the Crusaders?
Yes, I am. I'm actually the mellophone section leader and, on occasion, mellophone instructor.
Man, we need a mellophone. Where is a mellophone? I want to see what one of those things look like.
No, I left it in the practice room, so I'm not going to be doing any playing while I'm on this.
How long have you been with the Corps?
I've been with the Corps for 18 years, since the second rehearsal back in 1991.
Now, were you in a drum corps as a young man?
I was in the Immaculate Conception Reveries when I was back in should I tell you what years? 1965, 66, and 1967. So I look much younger than I really do. Well, thank you.
And so why did you join the Crusaders Senior Drum and Bugle Corps?
My son was in the Crusaders Junior Drum and Bugle Corps. He was a... he ended up being the drum major of the Corps. He was a soprano, and he was with the Corps for 7 years, and he kind of roped me into this. So that's how I became a member, and I figured it would only last maybe a year or 2 years, and I've been here for 18 years.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay, you're welcome.
Appreciate it. I'm here with Marilyn Ballier.
Correct.
And Peter Bowden.
Yep.
Welcome to the show. Marilyn, you used to be in the color guard, I hear.
I did.
But this doesn't look like color guard equipment.
No. I decided I like to be part of the music.
Are you saying the color guard's not part of the music?
Oh, they're definitely a part of the music, but this makes a lot of noise.
You like noise?
I like noise. Yep.
And your compadre over here also plays the cymbals also? What do you like about the cymbals?
It's good we get together. We get, there's 4 of us all told. It's a good section. I was a rudimental bass drummer.
You were a bass drummer?
Yeah.
And why did you go to cymbals?
Heart attack. In a parade. Yeah. I said if I got to go out, that's the way I want to go.
Marching.
That's it.
Excellent.
That's it.
And so you're on the cymbals now. You're out of the color guard.
I'm out of the color guard. I've been in the cymbal line for about almost 10 years.
How long have you been with the Crusaders?
This is my 19th season.
19?
I've been here since day one.
And did you play in any junior corps?
I was in a drill team, so I never played music. I played piano. Well, but I know how to read music, which made it easy to pick up cymbals. I really enjoy it. I enjoy being part of the music and making a lot of noise.
I'm back here with Rich Carlevale. Rich, what do you do with the Corps?
I play soprano, second soprano, and I started out years ago in 1955 with the Most Precious Blood Crusaders. And
where were they out of?
They were out of the Most Precious Blood Church in Hyde Park. 1955, and I had the pleasure of marching with the Hyde Park Crusaders.
How old are you now?
I'm 66.
Very nice.
Started out when I was 11.
When you were 11?
Yes. And had the privilege of marching with the Boston Crusaders, and aged out in 1964.
What's the age limit with the kids?
21 then. Now it's about 6 months. I think you can march up until you're 22 now, I think.
And then how much of a hiatus did you take after you finished with the junior corps?
28 years.
So the horn sat collecting dust?
I didn't even have one. Never played a horn, and for 28 years, and the senior group started, and I says, I got to get into this. And I love it every time I put the horn up to my mouth. I love it.
Well, that's a great story.
Yeah.
So you got to play a little bit for us today?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, we're ready.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
1, 2, 3, 4.
On the down, let's go. Here we go. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. it big. Ready? That's the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You goes, huh? Thought I was going to forget, huh? I almost didn't. Here we go, ready?